It's not just a I hit, they hit. It's always your turn in the fight game. It's always your turn. And when you strike, you got to be setting things up. When you're grappling, you got to be setting things up. And it's chess. It's not checkers. It's chess.
What's up, guys? This is Matt from Warrior Republic, and this is the Warrior Within podcast, where we talk to fighters that are up and coming and famous fighters, and basically showing you that they're just as interested as any athlete, any musician, or any rapper you guys would probably ever see. So, with us today is Memnon Warrior, someone I had the privilege of seeing grow, who is a bantamweight champion and also recently StreetBeefs welterweight champion. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me. Shout out to everybody watching.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's been long overdue.
All right. Thanks for coming out, man. Especially with your training and stuff. I wanted to talk about this first, and it's actually perfect from where you came from. You just came from PT and stuff like that. And also you did a shout out to your video on on using yoga for flexibility in MMA. Let's actually talk about recovery. It's one of the most important things probably no one really talks about too much in MMA. Everybody just thinks you work. And so educate me a bit and just tell people kind of insight, what recovery you do and how important it is.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the borderline of the new school and the old school mentality. Oh, yeah? Just because one of my mentors, his name is DeRay Davis. He's one of those guys that's from the era of back when there was no shin guards. It was no pads. Everything's hard sparring, hard. Everything's just bone on bone and no recovery. Yeah, old school. The back in the day when if it hurts, keep throwing it, Right. And so I see that, and then I learn from those guys, and then I know some more new school fighters, of course, and I got a guy on the team who's real big into recovery. He showed me some things, but I think for me it's a little bit in the middle. If something hurts, I'm a probably keep conditioning it, because I got that old school mentality of if it's the body will condition, the body will get used to it. So, but at the same time, you don't want to overdo it, over damage or overtrain. You got to find that sweet medium,
Right. How much do you listen to your body? For me, I'm at that age where I did stupid shit. I pulled out some things, so I actually have to be all right. I can't be too lazy, because if a movement doesn't happen, then the injury gets worse. So right. You're right. There's this happy medium. So how much of it is listening to your body?
A lot of it is, because I'm not trying to do this just for fun. I'm doing this to be a defending champion one day. So my body longevity is very important to me. So I stretch before, I stretch after, I stretch during. I'm always stretching. I'm always taking care of injuries if I got them or something, but I'm not one of those guys that's always in Cairo or always getting massages.
Right.
Yeah.
Although that shit feels good though.
Yeah. I'm not there yet, but soon.
How's the cryo? You've done that, right? I think I saw a post or something. You've done cryo there. The ice.
He had the vlog.
Yeah, I saw that, right? So how was that experience?
Yeah. So that was in January of this year.
For TFC?
I had You say what?
Was that for TFC?
Yes, sir. It is for TFC. And I had just this company, I forgot, Flow 60. And
right.
They took care of me. They just let me come and do some Cairo and shit before the fight.
How cold was it?
It's nothing. I feel like I could sit in there for 10 minutes.
That's awesome. So was it usually 5? It's less than that?
It's 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's some people can't last a few seconds, but to me it's nothing. If you ever done an ice bath, it's nothing compared to ice bath.
I was just gonna ask you that, because I was doing that last year with just because I was training a lot more. Yeah, dude, ice baths are unforgiving. You have to have you know what it teaches you? It teaches you mind, because if you can go in that shit and I'm just making the dumbest faces when you first do it too, and and then there's a part where you get numb, and then it's all good.
Yeah, I hate ice baths.
Yeah, they're a bitch. So the cryo is a vacation, I bet, for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just chill. It's like some Dragon Ball Z shit, kind of.
So you're not really so you're not really doing ice baths in between fights.
Oh yeah, how often do you do them?
I actually did one like I want to say like 3 weeks ago, and it was painful. Like I just jumped straight into it. Like I bought like four or five huge extra large bags of ice and dumped them in the tub, and it was filled up. And I just jumped in. Just was like, okay, I'm gonna just go for it. And immediately all the oxygen just left my body.
Oh wow, shit.
Yeah. And then I was just sitting, and eventually it came back to me, but that shit was painful.
Ooh, that's crazy. That's a bit scary.
Mm-hmm. But you feel so good afterwards, though. Yeah.
What about your joints? What do? You try and warm them up after, or?
My joints after ice bath.
Like you don't stretch after or do anything crazy. You chill, or like what do you do after?
I chill because everything is like numb. Like if you're in there and you're under the ice and with no pants, no shirts on or nothing, like your body will be numb. So then I just rest for a little bit. I may stretch a little bit. I might touch my toes and stuff like that, but mostly rest after recovery. I will only do it on like a recovery day, so I'm resting anyway.
Makes sense. I gotta tell you one funny story though. Me personally, I went and I was like, I did my ice bath. And I was trying to get a feel for what it was like for when you guys go do it. So I buy ice. So lesson one, folks, don't ever buy ice bath from a dollar store. So I did. I went to like the Dollar Tree and I just or it was like some shit like that. And I go and get the ice. And I'm like, shit hurts. But I felt good from the other time. You know how miserable it is. I put all the ice in there and I sit into it. And we even did a video that I never put out. That I was like trying to see the thing. And I kid you not, bro. I leave there and for like 2 days, my ass just burns.
Oh my God.
Like, like it burned. Because you're sitting there and it gets to all your body. Like your wang's there, your ass is there. It's going to get all through that shit. Yeah. So like, I don't know, at the time I didn't feel it. And then the next day, I'm just like, he's like, what you complain about? I'm like, dude, my ass hurts. Like, he's like, what'd you do? You're just training. Like, he's like, I don't know, man, that ice. I think it was that ice. And so I have like dirty ass ice and they don't clean it with the dollar ice. You think you're getting a deal. It's like, here, you're getting like all 5 bags for $1.
Yeah, you got some contaminated ice, it sounds like.
So if you're ever doing it and you're like, no, I want to train. And I mean, this is just my own little funny experience. But like, if you're going to go to 7-Eleven and you're going to go to like Quick Check, spend the extra money and get yourself the real bag of ice. Because that was a terrible experience.
Is there speedways out there in Jersey?
Oh yeah, you mean like a highway, interstate, parkway?
No, the gas station speedway.
No, we don't got we don't have that.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're everywhere out here. That's where I got it.
So you guys don't have Quick Check out there or anything like?
Quick Check?
Damn, see.
I think I seen the Quick Check in like Ohio.
You got a Wawa?
No, they don't. Yeah. A Wawa? You got Wawas?
No.
Yo, when you come to Jersey, I don't care. Next time you're doing a StreetBeefs thing, or maybe you come down here, I gotta bring you a Wawa, bro.
It's the future of convenience.
What's a Wawa?
So you just go in there, you want a sandwich, everything you just press. I mean, you get mac and cheese.
It's like a tablet. You just tap on what you want. 5 minutes later, it's made.
Like
that sounds fire.
Over here, what's that?
Yeah, I said that sounds fire. Awana?
Dude, over here in Jersey, it's like sandwiches up the ass. Like everybody loves it. So I don't know how you guys do, but over here everybody's fat as shit from subs, pizza, just pasta, And if you don't know, it's like little Dagestan over here. Because we got Frankie Edgar and we got like a bunch of people, got Ricardo Almeida, we even got other guys like Coach Meals that helps, like Corey Anderson and other guys don't know certain people that bring them up that are in the same team as Frankie, and we actually have real Russians now. Wow. I have what?
I was gonna say he also helps Marlon Moraes.
Oh yeah, Marlon Moraes is over here, and we got Russians. Zabit.
Cody Garbrandt out there too.
What's up?
Yes,
Cody Garbrandt. Yep, recently.
Yeah. I don't know if he moved permanently.
I saw like he came out here and he's training. I'm not sure if he's moving, but he probably does what a lot of fighters do, and like they have a home base. They come over here for a while, and then they do that in Vegas. Vegas is another big one. Like Claudia Gadella, she does Jersey. I think she lives here, and then she goes into Vegas, and that's her 2 homes, aside from like Brazil or whatever. So basically, we even got Russians like the Zabit Cherrypov. Dude, that guy's right here.
Magomed
Cherrypov. Yeah, he's right over here.
Dude, when is he going to get a fight?
I know, right? He had 2 cancellations, I believe. Because I saw Mark Henry. He was like, they were supposed to fight, and then something happened. So, yeah, I know. That dude's crazy. But you can always do overtrain. You don't want to do that. Like, I had this one fighter we recorded, and he was a little old school guy, George Sullivan, and he was in UFC. And he was saying one of the fights that he had, he trained way too fucking long, and then he didn't take any breaks. And then when he had a fight that was a career shot thing that would have made him like a top 10 or below guy, he trained for, it's like Tony did, like for Gaethje. He trained for Khabib the whole time. And then he got Justin, and he had no breaks. And even he did the picture with getting in shape and trying to, that takes out of your body too. Like I was telling my brother, he was just doing that to intimidate people and show he's a fucking badass. But
Tony Ferguson?
Yeah. But
with the cutting weight twice?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does stuff like that, and it's cool. But like,
stupid, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is. Like, he probably called me, you're a fucking pussy, snap down city, champ shit. But like, I'm just being real on my own body. And if I was a coach or if I was just, you know, someone close to me, be like, take it, kind of be the most safe you can be. But anyway.
But yeah, Jersey's an interesting spot for MMA. But
it's a hidden gem.
Going back to a segue, like for someone like you who's going from amateur to professional, how much are you training a week?
I'm training like every day. Wow. And since I work at a UFC gym, I either get a training session with my pro team, Premier, Team Colòn.
All right.
I either go Team Colòn in the morning and train with them, get some team training, and then I go straight to the gym. And then if I got a PT or a class, I teach it, and then I go straight back to them.
Right.
And then, or I might stay at UFC gym and get a great grind in over here. So it's like a full everything. I got everything I need: strength and conditioning, mats. We got the cage, pretty much all different looks, all different bodies and stuff. So
right.
It's I'm in a good spot. I'm able to train full time. So.
And then you always have your body moving. You got plenty of place to put yourself in shape. Going to your coach, like you know, Steve Colòn, like you've been with him since you were 15 years old. Can you give me a little background on, you know, him? And can you give me a little background on yourself, you know, kind of growing up, learning all the stuff under him?
Like how you got started.
How you got started, basically.
Yeah, so me and Steve, we're close, but it's mostly like just like, I want to say, like I'm one of his top fighters, but I still like cross train at other places too. So I've won a couple times to like Chicago Fight Team. They got like Lewis Taylor and Bilal Muhammad.
Oh, cool.
And Horatio and some other guys, some like pro guys that's not so big, like James Dunn. They got some good guys over there. So I'm gonna be trying to make it up to them more, just because I live closer to Chicago Fight Team.
Right.
But meantime, my team, like my home team, is still Team Colòn. So I'm gonna just be getting it in as much as I can. And especially like especially when I got a fight coming up. Like I don't got a fight right now, but I'm like training. I want to say I'm doing like 3 hard sessions out the week where it's like full team training, and then the other days I'm just training, self-training.
Are those 3 days you're sparring too?
Not all the time. Like, but I am sparring a lot. I'm sparring probably like 4 or 5 days out the week, but it's not hard sparring at all.
Right. I mean, I remember when I was sick and I saw the headbutt you got, you know, like talk about that. Like shit just happens in training, you know, like.
Yeah, it just happens like that. And that was from like barely even the round started and we clashed heads and boom, just like that. And so it's like freak accidents. And out of all my fights, I probably got 15 fights, nothing ever. And then just a headbutt, random headbutt, and then.
Damn, man, you're lucky. That's great. You should be like one of the. I don't know if you can see this GSP with like Nick Diaz. You'd be like one of the Diaz brothers. Get all the scar tissue, and then a fucking leaf hits your face. You start bleeding and shit. Like.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like that. I already.
That's some veteran shit, you know.
Yeah, I already got hit a few times, and it's held up pretty good. It's only been like already been a month, I think, and it's healed pretty damn solid.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's healed pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
But yeah, man. So freak accidents always happen, but luckily for me, I've never been injured. Like I've never been like anything too serious. I want to say 10 years now training. I started when I was 12.
That's good, man. That's good. You probably do a lot of what do you call that? It's escaping me now. Kevin does it too. Mobility training, right? You do a lot of that too, or no?
I do tons of mobility training.
Let's go backwards a little bit.
Well, what's up?
How did he get started in martial arts?
Oh, we still didn't go over with Team Colòn with that, right? So how'd you actually get started?
Yeah.
Go from I guess your Taekwondo background, and then how you actually got into MMA with Team Colòn.
So when I was a kid, we moved from Illinois to Iowa, and in Iowa is when I started like karate. Like it was just some fucking small
Some hole in the wall.
Yeah. One of those places that charge like $200 a month, and I liked it or whatever. It's cool, but I kept it moving, and we moved a lot of places. So everywhere we moved in Iowa, I would move to a different gym. My parents put me in, and it was okay, but I knew it was something more like karate. I knew it was good posing and stuff like that, but I knew it wasn't real. Like even it being like 7 years old, I was like, this isn't like, it's not a fight. It's not real fighting.
Right.
And so we moved to Ohio, and then I did Taekwondo. I think I was 8 years old, and we stayed out there until I was 12 pretty much. And I did Taekwondo from 8 to 12, came back to Illinois, started self-training at this gym called Active Edge in Lansing. It's shut down now, but the guy there, he hosted like smokers at the gym. So it would be fighters always there. Yeah. And I was 12 years old, signed myself up. You had to be 18. I went out. I forged my parents' signature, came back, and I was going there. I was going there for like 4 hours every day.
Wow.
All throughout high school.
How much Taekwondo did you learn? I mean, it's 4 years, so like I don't know what belt. That really doesn't matter. But like the tornado kicks and stuff like that. You picked it up during that time.
I never did any belting ceremonies because that shit was like $350, $400 to do that.
Yeah, wow.
I never did any of the ranking ceremonies, but what I did take from those years is the flexibility and the
interesting.
Yeah, the flexibility and the how I throw my kicks with no load up.
Right. I think it's interesting because you don't really need to be a black belt to beat the shit out of a black belt. Like people think black belts are like, especially back in the day, like 30 years ago, a black belt was like the highest shit you could be. And really, like, if you look at Boss Rudin, I don't know if you saw anything with him. You should probably, after going a day or so, look, it's very similar. Like, he literally beat the shit out of, like, tons of black belts before he even got a black belt. Because they're like, oh, you know how to fight,
Yeah.
So it's different, It's good self-defense. It teaches you balance.
The only black belt I fear is a jiu-jitsu black belt. That's the only black belt that I would like.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right.
If you're thinking about it, black belt just shows you put in a lot of time into it. Right. It doesn't mean that you're really as good. It just means you put a lot of time into it. You put a lot of money into it. You invested into it.
Right.
So.
And by the way, no disrespect to people who are, because there's black belts and then there's black belts. I'm sure there's like some great
there's
traditional.
Black belts.
and that's even true with jiu-jitsu, honestly. Like, I'm not even ranked in jiu-jitsu, but I've grappled and I've wrestled since I was younger that I can tap out dudes that were like blue belts and hang in with purple belts. And I've just been doing that like a while. Actually, let's like perfect segue into, since both kind of wrestling. So go from showing me you're doing Taekwondo. When did you wrestle? And just go from like, kind of what you were talking before, right?
So I used to have a friend. His name was Lewis. He got me into the wrestling. He went to TF South. I mean, he went to TF North, and I went to the rival school, TF South. But we was like best friends, and so we would meet at wrestling meets and just fucking like we would be the best star. Like he beat me the first time of the season, and we didn't link back up the whole season. So I had to wait a whole year to get my rematch.
Oh damn!
And I was but the next year as a sophomore, I started when I was a freshman in high school. But when we was in 8th grade, there was no wrestling team in the middle school.
Oh wow.
He got me into it by like every time we would hang out, we would work out and we would just like spar, just wrestling spar or like fight spar, and we would be beating each other's ass.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then when so fast forward when high school came around, we was on opposite sides, so we was pretty much like rivals. So we would go against each other and just have hard sessions and stuff like that. But we ended up going 1-1. So we didn't get the rematch.
Oh wow, that's crazy, right? Wow. Well, that's what you want as an athlete anyway. Like you want like a good like competitive thing. I'm sure that experience, right, is like, you know, the good connections you have with some good sparring mates in your gym. Like Alan, right? He's like he was probably some
100%.
competitive.
I got hands, man.
Oh yeah, I'm actually like I was a pretty big fan of him too, seeing him fight and like you know. That's another thing.
Considering how not that long he's been fighting or training.
No martial arts background before this, and he pressed the shit out of me when I saw his stuff, and it just people want to talk about it. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. Allen hasn't shown anything. He hasn't shown anything in his fights yet. Like I just sparred with him. Literally the day this happened, me and him got in like 10 rounds before I went with the guy that this happened to. And me and him put in like 10 rounds of boxing, and it's like nice. He got so much better. It's
great. That's, you know, it's funny because I was talking a little bit. He's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing a little bit and that like that. You know, I think you know a lot of guys. Let's just be real. Like, you know, I did like a couple smokers for kickboxing when I was like 16, and like, you know, I kind of got a stomach thing at 18, so I couldn't really pursue it like other people. But it's a real thing. You get head trauma and you can get damage. And even amateurs, like a lot of people are like, well, when's a good time to go pro? And it's not the same for everybody. So some guys are pros and they have concussions because they were pros. Some guys are amateurs and they got hit too much and they're never the same. So it's really, you got that question in yourself.
That's 100% true. I know a lot of amateurs that'll never be able to go pro.
Yeah, 100%. Because they got hit too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think it's because they fight, they need to learn how to fight better, or do you just think it's just like some people just don't have that in them?
I think the ship has sailed. Like, because when you fight, you got to be thinking longevity. You got to be thinking 100%. About longevity. The goal of the game is to hit without getting hit. So some people's styles ends their career shorter. Their styles make their career shorter, is what I mean. And a lot of amateurs, they take a lot of damage. But it's just like the cream of the crop always is going to separate. You know what I mean? Like the amateur circuit, majority of times, anywhere you go, whether it's the Midwest, the West Coast, or the East Coast, like the amateur circuits are, it's like, it's men among boys, you know what I mean? Like you can see who stands out. Like there's some guys out here like that went undefeated as an amateur, and they just picked it up. They just picked it up faster, and then they went pro, like even before me. And seeing that, it's like, okay, they just get the game. They just understand it's a chess match. It's not a tough man sport. It's a chess match, and
right.
That's how I feel like that's the difference I made as an amateur when I took that 6-month hiatus when I got suspended for jumping over the cage.
We saw that. 6 months. I saw that live.
Yeah. Those 6 months, man, that's what changed me as far as being an amateur. It was just being more aware and being like being more conscious of, it's not just I hit, they hit, you know. It's always your turn in the fight game. It's always your turn. And when you strike, you got to be setting things up. When you're grappling, you got to be setting things up. And it's chess. It's not checkers. It's chess.
Absolutely. And I always like, you know, the great Customato always says, like, you got someone who's tough, they're here. You got another guy who's tough. But if you got one guy that's tough, and he's tough too, but he's smart, and he's like that. So intelligence, like, you know, I don't care who you are, your mental is a weapon too. you know. And then like, you know, I really liked when I watched one of your vlogs for Street Beefs, and you were saying if he's smart, he's going to be patient with me. You know, and like all that is mine because everybody just wants to get in, especially when it's your first amateur fight. You know, because I've been around combat sports my whole life growing up. My dad, will tell you later, another thing, wrote for Black Belt magazine, and I got to meet Renzo Gracie and Matt Serra and a bunch of people who you know are now in the UFC. And yeah, oh yeah, I got stories I'll tell you later. But basically, yeah, man, like you can be an amateur, and it just your mindset is everything. And sometimes you'll burn out with adrenaline because you want to go. So anyway, patience is really what I was trying to preach. You
and to get back to that what you said about recovery, like that's a big difference too. Is some of the amateurs I knew that would never make it as a pro is because they would be hurt, they would get a concussion, and then they'd be back sparring the next night.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Or the next week, you know? It's like
that's terrible.
It's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's like killing your brain.
Yeah, exactly. And then any memories maybe you have, like you're messing that up too. And then who knows when you're older and stuff what you're gonna get from that in your brain. But you know, real quick, I want to make this into two things I kind of want to ask you. I know you're a big fan of Ben Henderson. I want to know like him and another fighter who you really like look up to, or I wouldn't say emulate, but you know, maybe you get a little inspiration in your style. Maybe if you don't do the same thing.
Well, Benson Henderson, I liked his how he branded himself. Very respectful, very humble champion, you know? And that's what inspired me as far as like, okay, that's like how you would want to represent yourself as, you know, a martial artist. But as far as fighting goes, I do like Yoel Romero a lot.
I didn't know you were a Yoel fan. I would never expect that.
Yeah, I'm a huge Romero fan, man. Like I watch a lot of his fights. I like watch him in slow motion.
He's an incredible athlete, man.
Yeah, and I feel like his fighting style, along with GSP fighting style, is the most ideal for MMA because Yoel, what he does really good to me is controlled explosion. So when he wants to go, snap, he goes, and then he's back, you know, cruising. Then explode out of nowhere, and then he's cruising. And when he's at his best, he does that right. But you know, of course, like against Israel, that's probably one of the fights where he does it the worst because he takes too long to explode, or he doesn't pull the trigger. But I feel like a mix of that with takedowns like GSP, how he comes off that jab, like he explodes off that jab, and then he could go to the legs. Like I feel like a mix of both of their styles is really kind of like how I would, I guess, emulate. Because I watch pretty much their footage the most.
That's interesting. I would never expect it. GSP, yeah. So you like the explosive combinations with like kind of wrestling, basically.
His pace. You know?
Right.
I like Kobe Covington too a lot. I watch Kobe Covington a lot too. And Tony Ferguson.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm really big into guys who weaponize the pace of a fight, you know?
So, you know, your cardio is like a weapon, basically, you know?
100%. That's why I feel like Khabib is going to just run through Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, well, here's another thing we nobody talks about, and this will show you like how much inside knowledge I really do have. If you are used to wrestling, you won't get as tired as somebody who won't. And I'm not saying he has no experience as a younger wrestler. I'm saying the years he put in mixed martial arts, he strikes more. He's so comfortable with that his cardio and his muscle fibers in the last whole pro career is now catered to not get tired that way. Enter a guy who hasn't stopped wrestling since Bears and he's 4 years old. That guy is going to want to stay in that world and not get tired. So my big thing is like, I don't think Justin, even though he has good takedown defense, what's his stamina when he wrestles?
Yeah, because I was training somebody the other day and I was having them go, all right, I was training two people. I was having one person go takedowns against the cage, other person just wall walking back up. Nice. And after a couple takedowns, they're gassed already. And it's like, Keep going. Because that's where you get tired. When you get taken down, you get back up to the feet. You got to throw, taken down again. You got to get back up. Shit is
exactly.
And
it's in the same token, it can be discouraging too. Say you're taking someone down and then they keep getting up. And then it depends if you're a good wrestler, how tired you are from that. So
I feel like Khabib isn't like he's not invincible. He can and will get tired too. But we're gonna see who breaks first.
It's just like everything else. The people had Lyoto Machida, they couldn't figure out that puzzle. This is a wrestling puzzle. And it's a cycle MMA. The wrestler, the grapplers come out and then they're on top. And right now we're in like a strikers era. You got Izzy's in there and now they're on top. So everybody figures out the piece of the puzzle, so to speak. Actually, it's kind of crazy if you think about it, because really you have like two eras. If the lower weight, you have Khabib, it's kind of a grappling thing.
What do you like the most? Say you had an ideal champion. If he was a striker or a grappler, what would you like to watch the most? The
Styles or picking individual fighters like Styles?
Style-wise.
Ferguson comes to mind.
No, he said regular Styles, not like picking like a person. Like, so you're saying if I pick like mixed martial arts, I just pick a bunch of styles, what would be the best?
Yeah.
Man,
you can make that champion that's fun to watch. You know, a lot of people will tune in. What style would he have?
You definitely need like this. Basically, you're asking like I'm like the dude that would.
I'd say a traditional karate.
Wait, I was gonna say some shit.
No, say you're fucking playing UFC 4 and you're creating a character. Like, what's his ideal champion?
I would definitely start him. My two bases would probably be like. Probably wrestling and karate, like before,
wrestling.
And then I think the little like this is probably what I do if they're like a kid, like put him in karate till he's like or taekwondo, whatever, traditional martial arts first. Then while you hit like middle school, depending what area they're at, like where I'm at, there's wrestling. Where you're at, there's not in middle school. So I put him in wrestling. I try and have a little bit of boxing because you need the traditional base to teach you balance and just how to kind of do self-defense. Like, you don't even know anything. You don't know how to fight. You don't know anything. You might suck with athletics. So the stances, even though in sparring they don't do a lot of the fancy, like, but it teaches you how to move around. So then you need to know about ground. And there's a whole different balance when, like, you know, ever grapple somebody who doesn't know how to grapple, like, and they're bigger than you, they think you're so strong. But they don't know it's all about leverage and how you're moving your legs. So wrestling and definitely traditional martial arts, I think you would do first. And as soon as you got the legs of like traditional martial arts down and you got the ground of the wrestling, then we got to add the boxing in. And at that point, you can add jiu-jitsu that mix. And I think basically that's kind of where we're at right now. And we got guys like you that got more of a Muay Thai background, you know, like at least the way you have your long guard and stuff like that. So I'm seeing a lot of that as like, we're at that point now, but people are adding their own spice to that, right?
Yeah. It's evolving, and I could see. I'm trying to be a part of the evolution. You know, I'm not trying to get left behind because I'm starting to see like the way my fighting style is. I feel like I'm getting better every fight. Every fight, I'm getting better. Every training session, I'm getting better. I'm feeling stronger.
That's great.
And like,
it looks like it.
And one of the things I've been adding to my game a lot is the jiu-jitsu. So I've been on the ground a lot. I've been making use of this blue belt.
Yeah, man. Congrats on that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
But, you know, the way I think of jiu-jitsu anyway, like, so we talked about that style mix. That guy is great up until he gets on his back, right? You guys can kick. He's good at wrestling. But, like, at the end of the day, put it this way. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you don't want to take anyone down. How good's your jiu-jitsu to execute? So it's the same kind of thing when we're talking, like, you know, almost switching that, right? So you need the jiu-jitsu. And I think the most important aspect of jiu-jitsu is on your back because it's the most vulnerable you are.
I don't know who I was watching, but they're talking about Tony Ferguson. And they was like how he's one of the oddest people in the UFC because he strikes off his back.
Oh, right. Elbows right off the back. There's also someone who did it originally. Bas Rutten also did that too, and that was early on as well. But you're right. A lot of people just don't want to do that. Depending on your background, I'm a jiu-jitsu competition. Or like, you know, if you are more of a striker, usually you want to do that, right? That's their natural.
Michelle Water.
Yeah, you're right. She did it too. People are getting it. You are getting it. But you're right, man. It's like...
maybe some people have too much of a sport mindset.
That's what I'm trying to say. If they're like... like Mackenzie Dern, she would probably, as good as she is, she won't think of. She'll probably think of almost grabbing than striking, like Watterson and maybe like you would. So it's a mind thing. You as a martial artist and as a fighter have to really be open enough to like know what you have to do and what you want to do.
Yeah, but I can't wait till my next fight.
You know when it's coming up? Is it soon?
Dude, I want to fight in December, man. I want to fight one more time this year.
Christmas got to come early.
Christmas got to come early.
Very true. But I'm trying to see. The chances of it happening is slim, but just because I know what I want as far as like what I'm asking for as a pro, and so the chances is slim for right now. I might have to wait until everything opens up and the fans and stuff can be back in arenas.
So where would it be? LFA, CFFC? What are you thinking?
LFA would be dope. LFA would be dope. And Steve, my coach, does got like connections with them.
That's
so
word.
We'll see. I seen Kevin just fought.
Kevin did just fight. Kevin did. And he's been in both those circuits. Yeah, he did really well. And then his last fight, this guy gave him trouble, and that's another thing in mixed martial arts. You got to realize, what you need to work on, and it's all a journey and it's a learning process. So Kevin's kind of like being Kevin and dealing with how that feels, and basically, I think he's going to come up top with it. But this is probably I've watched all your fights. I watched your fights. I watched his fights, and it's probably the person that gave him the most trouble because they did their homework.
Because he just came off fighting a Boss Root
protege, yeah.
Right before that.
And he did good, but and he was backing away with a lot of his strikes. He's the type of guy that likes to be on his bicycle a lot, they say. He's just kind of backing up, which is good, but he needs more like forward pressure. And I don't know what happened in this fight other than he needed to do more wrestling, and I think he needed to do the things he was good at. Like, he has a traditional background. He should use that as strengths. See, sometimes some of you guys, and no criticism to Kevin, like he's an awesome fighter and dude. But sometimes we like as mixed martial artists will look at boxing and then we have a love for boxing. You should love boxing, but never fall in love with boxing. Because I think what he did is prepare too much boxing for this fight. And this dude's like, I just want to take you down.
Yeah.
And then his teep,
that dude,
he didn't teep as much in his side kicks. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I fought his brother.
You fought his brother?
Yeah, the guy he fought.
Really?
Yeah, and I was
that before Alberto?
Huh?
Was that before Alberto?
That was yeah. Motaz Oscar.
Okay.
And that was I could have easily outstriked them looking back, but I just was like emotional. Like I was talking during the fight and just talking shit and just being uncharacteristic. I just let the belt and stuff get to my head, being like my first big amateur fight.
Right.
And I was like, I was very uncharacteristic. I wasn't calm in the chaos. I was chaotic in the chaos.
And that's that happens, man. And then you learn from it, right?
Yeah, but those guys are tough. Those Oscar dudes are tough. It's 3 of them, and they train up like in MTC. All they do is wrestling. They're like Dagestanians,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all they do is wrestle. Like
Dagestanians. Yeah, ain't no joke. And especially like he had that immigrant mindset. He was like, I wanted this. See, that's another thing you can see sometimes with pre-ups for like, you watch LFA when they do main stuff or even UFC. If somebody's like, I always wanted to be here, you see it in the mindset. But if somebody's like, I just want to see how it goes and I'm here, you see less hungry.
You see who's hungry for that.
Right.
I
just want to go on one little twist before, I know we talked about this before, like in DMs. So you always wanted to train like Duke Rufus and you're close. So, and you have a couple guys like Bilal Muhammad. You said you had other guys that train in another camp. You've always been a big fan of him, and are you thinking of training with him soon?
I actually went up there, but I'm not going to be doing any training with a mask on the whole time.
Oh, really? That's what they're doing? Nah.
I can't do it. I can't grapple with a mask. I can't strike with a mask, so I can't do that. I'm gonna just wait till next year, whenever everything's back fully open. then I go cross train with them.
Yeah, no, it's smart. Dude, the mouthpiece. People don't even understand how hard it is when you're trying to train. You have the mouthpiece. That's extra.
Right.
Put a mask on top of it.
Yeah. And they make you wear a full gear. Like you gotta have your head gear, you gotta have this and that. And it's like, and then I don't know, man. I'm one of those guys. I feel like I could make it with the people I start with. And cross training is always fun and nice, but I got everything I need at home.
That's good. That's actually a good attitude. It's like, you know, you go out to get yourself uncomfortable, but you remember what got you there.
Yep.
So speaking of people got you there, what about... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, getting different looks is good.
Absolutely. Especially if you're killing everybody at your gym, then that's time to probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie Wineland, you know, the Eddie Wildman, as I like to call him, like you got a good relationship with him, and he was WEC champion at one point. Is he part of Premier, or like what's your relationship with him and training with him?
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He just cross trains at the he cross trains with us, and he cross trains at, I forgot the other gym, but it's somewhere in Indiana. And he just cross trains with the two gyms out here in Indiana. And when he has a fight, he goes up to Niles and train with I forgot what they're called. I don't know why I'm tweaking right now, but I forgot what they're called. But yeah, he cross trains at a few of the big gyms out here. But one time when we was sparring, he had came in, and I think I was like 18, 19, and he had came in, and we had got some sparring rounds in, and it was like full MMA sparring, and he just I'm not gonna get into what happened or anything, but like he just really liked my style, and ever since then he would hit me up, and he's a cool dude. He's a real cool dude.
You were training, you were wrestling him and doing MMA sparring with him, or someone else, and you was watching.
With him.
Oh wow, that's sick. 19.
Yeah,
no,
it was
18.
It was
I'm sorry, 18. Damn.
It was
awesome.
dope.
And ever since then, he's really supported you and stuff like that. Definitely.
Yeah, he's very supportive. Yup. And him and Darren Elkins as well. Darren Elkins, when he's in town, he comes and train with Team Colòn also.
Right. And he's had a good like he knows your coach, I guess, or he's just like same camp.
He's got a great relationship with Steve. I really don't. I haven't talked to Darren like that. We sparred like twice ever since I've been there, but
sparred him.
Yeah,
he's a bigger dude than you, right?
He spars hard, dude.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, he just spars hard. He just tries to knock your fucking head off.
It's like a Ford truck. Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah. He just got one direction, and that's straight ahead.
They say he's like kind of, well, actually, both of them are kind of like the old school dudes. So yeah, it's always that forward pressure.
Oh no. Eddie is like, he's like always all over the place. He's like a Dominic Cruz, but like, you know how Dominic Cruz is his own movement. Eddie is like known for his movement. Like Eddie is not easy to hit.
Actually, you're right. That's Sugar Sean fight. He was moving a lot. Actually, you're right.
Yeah, he was doing great up until Sugar stopped the movement with the body kick, the spinning kick to the body. You can't eat too many of those, and he ate one flush, and that stopped his movement, and then that was the downfall from there.
Because people don't realize that was a really high paced fight up until that point. Like,
oh, dude, he landed two right hands, like clean. Like you could hear the crack, and dude, I was on the edge of my toes watching that because I was like, we was training him for that fight. Like I was just throwing spinning shit like the whole time. I'm throwing spinning shit, trying to knock his head off, and he's like countering. He'd slip, he'd throw the overhand, and he was getting the overhand timing so good, but it was shocking. Sugar, instead of going spinning to the head, he spin to the body. Like you can move your head all day, but to move the body, you got to move your feet. And Sugar threw straight to the body, which stopped Eddie's movement. So I texted him right after the fight. I was like, you okay and stuff like that. And he said the spinning kick is what done it. And even in the podcast, he said that spinning kick, that's what stopped his. That's what stopped him.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Like, you know, some guys are tough. They can take all the shots to the face, but then the body, not too many people, they take a hard body shot and walk away. And two, nonetheless. And also, if you saw, like, after those leg shots, like, that little uppercut thing he did, he, like, kind of faked, and then that's how he did the walk-off. Normally, you'd probably be aware of that, but when you get those body shots, like, you know...
Yeah. He said he seen it coming. He just couldn't stop it.
Exactly.
He couldn't fucking move. He felt, like, stuck. And I've been hit like that before in the body where I felt stuck. Like, just, like, like, you can't go nowhere. Your legs are heavy.
Especially you get a liver shot or some shit, right? Definitely.
100%.
What else I want to ask you, like, 2 last questions, and we're just going to, like, you know, let you go on because I know you're busy, man. But what are some, like, diet stuff that you would, like... I want to do diet first, and then I want to give you another question. Let's start with, like, you know, you're not in a weight cut. You're not going for a fight. Just, like, normally you're in good shape. What do you eat that you do for diet to keep yourself lean?
Lots of like rice and chicken, and I don't like I don't really I be on a seafood diet. Like, I see food, I eat it. Like, I'll just be on a seafood diet, man. I try not to, cause I train twice a day. I'll be needing the calories. I'll be needing to full in. So I just try not to eat too much outside food. I try to cook a lot. A typical breakfast would be like some eggs, you know, just basic stuff. As a fighter, your diet is always boring, you know?
So, like, how much vegetables and shit you incorporate, or is it just, like, meat and carbs?
Mostly meat and carbs. Mostly meat and carbs. I feel like that's why I started taking creatine a lot, because I feel like I don't eat as much meat. Like, I do eat a lot of like carbs, like rice and things of that nature, like pasta and stuff like that. But when I do eat meat, I eat like chicken, beef, stuff like that. Real hearty stuff, you know.
Oh, how do you cook it? Like your chicken, you're not breading it. Like, what do you just grill it? You put it, bake it?
I grill it. Like, well, not grill, but like stir fry, like damn near same thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So like stir fry it and stuff like that. So.
Like honestly, anybody that's trying to lose weight, when you learn how to cook your own food, like you're gonna save money, and you're definitely gonna lose weight and have a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, and me, I'm really big into, if you're losing weight, just fast.
Right.
Like, don't eat before 11 and don't eat after like 7, you know?
Right.
And drink a lot of water.
Yeah. Especially when you're fasting, people don't know that part. You won't even lose as much fat unless you drink a lot of water. And we're not even talking about fighting. That's a whole other gallons of water shit. I'm talking about just losing weight. Water is the most, sleep and water are the most underrated stuff.
Sleep and water, yes. Good sleep is how I cut 35. I was on a time schedule. I would go to bed. I would sleep by like 9, and I would get like 8 hours, and then I would drink like a gallon every day. And as soon as I wake, I would drink a gallon. Some days I would get 2 gallons just because I woke up super early and finished the first gallon by like 12 or 1. So 35, I didn't cut. I cut 3 pounds of water.
Oh wow. That's insane.
I was like, yeah. I dieted down. Like, I was like lean and strong, man. I felt like Bruce Lee 100%.
That's awesome. And that's what it is, man. We're 75+% water. So, like, that's a lot of your diet. And the whole trick is these people try and cut too much and they get weak. So it sounds like you're getting the process down pretty good. My last question, you could, you know, just for this podcast, is anybody who sees you fight, you know, I watch you, man. You inspire me. I watch other people too. If somebody wanted to become a fighter, you know, where could you tell them to start? What should they really do?
If you really want to become a fighter, I would say just like I did a fan Q&A video where I like answered a couple of these for my younger, you know, supporters.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, find a gym, find a fight gym, and don't really think about competing. Just go in there and try to learn. Just try to learn and get better. Just get better every day and take it day by day. Don't try to look too far ahead with it, because you got to find out that when you're in the deep waters, you got to find out if you're going to sink or swim. And a lot of people, they say they want to be something, but until you actually get hit in the face or you get kicked or you get, any of that, then you will know. Because when you actually compete, that's when the true answer comes out.
Absolutely. That's a great answer. Because you also got to see if you love it. So, like, when it looks good on TV or it looks good somewhere, like, yeah, getting pain in sparring is even different in competition. So if you can't handle it in sparring, you're not going to like it in the professional competitive sense.
And then you're going through hard practices too and coming back the next day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay if you find it out that way. But that's why there's a difference between like guys who are fighters and athletes and stuff like that. And you're definitely both. So anything, I guess you want to...
Guys that give me good work. There's a lot of guys that give me great work and they never compete. They like give me a push. There's this one guy, no fights. He's 50 years old. He did just win like a Pan Am championship though, like for jiu-jitsu. He won Pans. But he gives me go. Like it's hard to sub him, and he doesn't sub.
Wow.
Like it's like a stalemate.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, see, a lot of people don't know the unknown people that help others prepare. Like even Wonder Boy Thompson, he was it for GSP? He was like somebody's to prepare for some fight to emulate someone else at the time, and nobody knew who Wonder Boy Thompson was. So yeah, like some guys, like you just said, they'll never want to fight, they'll never whatever, and they're just as talented and they're really good at mixed martial arts.
Yep, 100%. The people behind every champion, there's a team. Behind every champion, there's a team, and every champion got people in their gym that's either taking them down or whooping them on the feet. So it's just the game is always someone better. You just got to get better than you were yesterday. That's my thing. Trying to be better than my own self. Not trying to be better than anybody else, but better than my own self.
Right, and it's less stress. You're competing against yourself instead of like, what's he doing over there? And
that's a great note to end it on.
Absolutely, man. Anything else you want to tell the world? And it's been a pleasure talking to you, Emanuel Pugh, the Memnon Warrior. And yeah, man, it's been cool.
Memnon Warrior, out, man. Just like that, out.
Awesome. All right, man.
Hit me up. Memnon Warrior is all my ads. So, Warrior Republic, shout out Warrior Republic. Go cop some gear.
We got the Memnon, official Memnon shirts. You want to get anything Memnon, you come and you can just go to our site, warriorrepublicmma.com. He's got Emanuel, has also got, Memnon Warrior YouTube. We'll put that there. And we got your Instagram. We'll put that right next to it. And if you guys really, there's two parts of the sport. There's guys that you already know and guys you don't. And this has been an episode where you've realized you see an up-and-coming rising star. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
They're going to know soon.
That's right, man. World will know your name, buddy. Real soon. Peace out, man.
Peace out.